I think a lot of people would ask, how do you not just walk into that room and punch him in the face, right? You were just with somebody who you've seen how horrifically they've been treated. It's not just a he said, she said. You've looked at the victim, and then you walk in there. How do you, and especially with the way this unfolds, you can't even just be like, oh, just don't punch him in the face. You have to present somebody who could be on his side from the first second. You don't want to put him on his back feet where he's just going to yell lawyer and then you can't talk to him. How do you go in there with anything but anger just emanating off you?
Just based off your question, I can tell you have 5 or 6 family members who are cops. I can see it. I get asked a lot of questions, but sometimes the way it's framed, I can tell. You know, when I walk in a room, anytime I walk in with a suspect, I have some idea what's going on. I've done my homework, whether I had 15 minutes to do it or 3 days. But I don't have time to think about my own emotion or my own reaction even to what's being said, because I don't know if that comes just through doing it for so long or if it comes through knowing. It's almost like in parallel with a coach. I watched my husband coach football when he was coaching in the offense. I watched the team get a touchdown. And then I watch everybody jump up in the air and celebrate. And then I'm watching him. There's no reaction to that. I'm on to the next thing because I have a job to do here. There's no time for this tweet or end zone dance. We have things to do. I feel in an interview, it's not about my emotions. I have to keep them in check. I'm hyper aware of that because when you're talking to somebody, if they notice even a nuance about what they're saying, if I show disgust or show anything, they're watching me. I can watch them watch my eyes back and forth. They're looking into me, and they're good at it. They're watching for my reaction, and sometimes if I show disapproval or judgment, people shut down. So I don't know if it's just over time I learned not to do that, or if that's just who I am. So it's not about me. It's about the information I'm trying to gain. So I have to be ahead of what I'm saying because I have to anticipate their response and what I'm going to say next or do next. So it's dynamic. You don't go in with a checklist and say, okay, how about this? It's dynamic, and you get it just spiders off into something completely different. But you have to be ahead of someone, which is extra difficult when the person you're talking to has thought about what they did, sometimes for years. In this case, a decade. They think about what they've done, and they think about it every day, and they rehearse what they would say, and they play out scenarios, and then it's new to me. So I have to keep that in check every time. It's why I don't interview with anyone else in the room, whether that's a victim or whether that's a suspect. I interview them alone. I can't worry about someone else's reaction to what they say or that micro time that it took for them to look at my reaction and the person next to me's reaction. I have to be in sync, just me. So that works. It works for me.